Like we always do every week, we're bringing it back to the bullpen. There are some bullpen issues. We're going to talk about this offense and what happened over the weekend. And is there any fix that can be found? We'll ask Mike Stanton. Let's go right now.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
And like we always do, we bring it back to the bullpen because a lot of times that's where the game hangs in the balance. But one thing that doesn't hang in the balance is the analysis of my illustrious co-host, Mr. Mike Stanton. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, there's only one place, and that's going to be on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike Stanton 29. I think we need to start off with giving a big congratulations to the now Hall of Famer, Billy Wagner. One of the most dominant pitchers you will ever see. Didn't pitch as long as some other guys, but when you look at the numbers, it's not even close. He deserved to be in there about 8 years ago.
Oh, Billy Wagner, from what he did when he first put the Astros uniform on all the way till the end of his career, was dominant. And I caught a little interview on, I don't know if it was on ESPN or I think it was MLB Network. And apparently Randy Johnson claims that he taught Billy Wagner how to throw the slider. Well, okay. Billy Wagner said, well, when I asked him, how do you throw a slider? He said, you hold it like this. He goes, okay. He didn't. He said, I'm sorry, big unit. I can't give you the credit. He goes, Brad Lidge taught me how to throw
how to turn
slider.
It.
Yeah, how to turn it. He goes, but once I did that, he goes, it changed everything. And I remember, Mike, I would watch him pitch. Even when they moved from the Dome to the first years of when it was Enron.
Right.
And you would think a heater was coming and all of a sudden a slider would come down the pike. Yeah. I mean, unbelievable dominance and his short arm action. I just love it.
Well, listen, he was, especially when he first came up, there were only less than a handful of guys that were throwing 100+ miles an hour. And there were none from the left side. And, I don't know if I'm going to go out and say that the slider, and to tell you the truth, you can maybe even call it a curveball because it had a big break on it. Changed the game because he was pretty stinking dominant with just 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And, what a great story. The right-hander gets into the Hall of Fame. Yes, I said right-handed because all he did left-handed was pitch.
Right.
Broke his arm a couple times when he was 7 years old, taught himself how to throw the ball left-handed just because he was bored up against a barn in Virginia. Just an incredible story. First D3 player to make NCAA Division III player, little Division III school out of Virginia, to make the Hall of Fame. I mean,
wow. I didn't know
whether it was his size, didn't have any offers. That's why he went D3 in college. Coming out of high school, was throwing in the mid 80s. A couple of years later, he's throwing in the mid 90s, and then he goes from not having any collegiate offers at all and having to go D3, which the definition of D3 means no athletic scholarships.
Right.
To being a first-round pick for the Astros, 21st overall. I mean, just an incredible story, incredible man, and what an amazing pitcher. I mean, he's more dominant than really any reliever out there. All you have to do is look at the numbers. He didn't put up the crazy 600 saves like Mariano did. And Mariano, right. I still believe best closer in the history of the game. But I'll tell you what, there is an argument for Billy Wagner.
Well, and he's an elite company because he's only the 8th relief pitcher.
Correct. Full-time reliever.
Yeah, full-time reliever to make it in. And but that the more those guys that get in, the more I think respect that the Hall pays to relief pitchers. I mean,
well, I think in this day and age, I don't think there's very many people out there that don't respect relievers because you can't win in today's game without relievers. You just can't do it because starting pitching, the average number of innings per start has drastically dropped from even 10 years ago, much less 20 years ago. And you just simply cannot win. The way it goes now, you can't win without a closer, but you can't win with about 3 leverage relievers to go with the closer. So it's a unique place that we're in right now. And I was so glad to see Billy get in. And it was just, look at the numbers. I mean, he was just shy of 12 strikeouts per 9 innings for a career, which is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's astounding. And we'll talk a little bit later, probably in the last segment, about injuries. But I mean, the Astros have 7 starters. Now, some of those are nearing a comeback, which is a welcome thing. But literally, we have a 7-man rotation. I mean, so this team, talk about injuries and stuff. Before we get into the sweep, we do have to say that what Nick Kurtz did on Saturday, unbelievable. I know
pretty impressive to say the least.
I know Cooper Hummel was the guy that threw the pitch for the 4th home run, but to hit 4 home runs, because how many times do major league players go up against a position player and pop the ball up? Because
all the time,
all the time. And so for him to hit 4 home runs, 19 total bases, and Mike, I don't know if you saw this, but his godparents had flown in with his parents to watch him play.
Oh, I did not know that.
His godparents had not seen him play in a major league game this year. So they happened to be there when this happened. And I mean, look, I hate that it was against the Houston Astros, but we may be looking at a budding superstar. He's just got a sweet swing at the plate. He's a big kid, came out of, I believe, UCLA. Oh, Friday. I said Saturday, Friday night. Sorry. He hit so many home runs. I feel like it was a 2-day game, but the A's, they just had the Astros number, Mike. Every year though, leading up to this year, and maybe it's a coincidence, all 4 years that the Astros have been swept by the A's at home in a season, the last 4 times they went to a World Series.
That is that's a pretty good number. That means absolutely nothing right now.
Come on, Mike. Come on.
No, it's is an interesting talking point? Yeah, but it really has. What have I always said? It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And the A's are not a great team. They do have some talent, and Kuntz is one of them. But I mean, you're talking about a team that's, well under 500, but it's all about the time and the schedule when you play them, because everybody is going to get hot. And the Astros right now, well, we'll just say it, are not hot. And any major league team can beat any other team on any given night. And that's, the A's just took it to the Astros. That's just simply the truth. I mean, a 4-game sweep in your home ballpark, especially in a place that the Astros have played very well this year, except for lately.
Lately, it's been bad.
Yeah, I think they're 1-9, 1-8 in their last 9.
Yeah, 1-8 in their last 9. They've actually lost 11 of their last 16 games. So they have been on a little bit of a cool down, but
it's one of the reasons why you build a lead the way they did. So they have some wiggle room, and they still have even with all those ugly numbers and a 4-game sweep by, arguably the worst team in this division, they still got a 4-game lead. Now
they still got a
4-game. Who do you have to look out for right now? You have to look out for the Texas Rangers, not the Seattle Mariners, because they are on a hot streak right now.
They are.
And they are tied actually with the Mariners at 4 games back. So, the Astros still in charge of their own destiny. There's no dire straits here. There's no reason to panic, especially with the news that they could potentially be having some arms coming back.
Yeah, they do. And that's some pretty exciting news. And we'll get to that here in a little bit. But there's a streak, the 1987 Orioles. Okay, they did a lot of things. They had a lot of streaks that year that weren't exactly great streaks. But the Astros now, Mike, as a relief pitcher, it's tough coming in, whether you've got guys on first or second, or you're trying to hold a lead. But it makes it even tougher when you know that the starting pitcher's giving up that run early. The offense isn't responding with a counterpunch with the run. And then you feel like you're always playing catch up. 18 consecutive games now. They've got tomorrow night to stop the streak and to not tie the game, the 19-game streak. But going into these next few starts, do you attack hitters differently? Is there something that hitters are seeing early on? Are they just being aggressive and that's just baseball?
Yeah, there's nothing special going on. There's nothing. This is just one of those things that happens in Major League Baseball. The Astros starters are making mistakes early in the game, and the opponents are capitalizing. I mean, it's just that simple. The Astros just need to make a little bit more, little more quality pitch in those situations. And the thing is, I've always said, you go back to the 1927 Yankees Murderers Row, that team was not designed to come from behind. There's no such thing. Now the Astros have done a remarkable job in those situations. Just simply, you just look at the numbers. They've got 60 wins right now. 30 of those wins, they were losing at some point in those games. So they've done a great job of coming from behind. But it's just one of those things. And we said the reason the Astros have 60 wins is because of the pitching staff. It's not because of the offense. The offense has been suspect, to say the least. But it's, what do you try and do? I mean, if I'm the pitching coach, I don't have them do anything different. I mean, if I start bringing light to this situation, you're just making the situation bigger than it really is. I mean, you're still in first place. You still have a 4-game lead.
Right.
Yes, those are interesting numbers, but you don't want to all of a sudden start telling your starting pitchers, hey, we need a 0 in the first inning, because now you're going to make them start pressing, and it may get worse. With the Astros having 30 of their 60 wins come from behind, what does that mean? It means that if the other team does score first, they're only scoring a run, maybe 2, and you have to score that many to win anyways.
Yeah, so when they score first, they're 32-11.
Right.
When the opponent scores first, they're 28-34.
Yeah. So they, still under 500, but still 28 is a big number.
It is.
And and the thing is, even though the Astros have done a remarkable job this year with scoring 3 runs or fewer and winning baseball games in those situations, still the number is 4. If you score 4 or 5 runs with the way this pitching staff has pitched, except for as of late, you're going to win those baseball games.
Yeah, it has been one of those years where you can't ignore the injury bug. You can't ignore how decimated this team is, because, Mike, I was thinking about it today. It's one thing for a series for you to go, okay, this week we really need to lean on Altuve, Walker, and Diaz. But those are the 3 guys they've been having to, and even maybe Cam Smith when he's in a little bit of a slump. But when you have 3 guys in and out every week, every day of the month, that they're the only guys in the lineup that are your regulars supposed to do it, that's a pretty heavy burden. Hey, guys, we need y'all to help hold us up to stay in first place. And maybe I think a series against the Athletics, and maybe also Victor Caratini as well, but you don't have a full strength lineup. And I mean, that's got to wear on you, even as a hitter. I would think frustration wise, like, man, we're just not scoring the runs. Like, man, they got 2 guys on double play. They get one guy on, double play. It's just like they just can't fight their way out of a wet paper sack, it seems like, offensively.
Yeah, but what do you do as a coach to try and rectify this? And the answer is, well, kind of nothing. You have to stay. One of the things Joe Espada has always done is he tries to stay as positive as possible, because that's the only way you're going to fix this. Or that's the only way things are going to get better, because I don't think you can actually fix it. I think that this is one of those things that you just have to stay positive, keep moving forward, keep giving yourself, I've said this many times, keep giving yourself the opportunities, with runners in scoring position. The long ball is not usually the way the Astros are going to score. They're going to have to get some base hits, get some base runners, give yourself opportunities, and hopefully you capitalize on a few of those. But, if you all of a sudden start talking about this and start, bringing it to light, just like we talked about with the pitchers and the starting pitchers giving up runs early in the games, you don't want them to start thinking, they're already thinking about it, but you don't want to kind of enhance the negativeness, because you just keep bringing it up. You just keep staying positive. These guys keep patting themselves on the back, let's go. And hopefully things will change. But right now, this team has been floundering, and what is the reason? Well, the biggest reason, if you look at the whole of the season, is because the pitching really hasn't done very well as of late. Now, they haven't scored a whole boatload of runs either, but the reason this team is in first place is because of their pitching staff. So if there's been a lot of pressure on them all year.
There has been.
But that's really why they've had this issue as of late, is because they just simply haven't been pitching as well as they were earlier in the season.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And the next thing we want to talk about is, losing ground. You're only 4 games up. Now you're third, because Detroit finally broke their losing streak. So now they're 1 game over you. And jockeying for position. And you can really more hyper focus on that towards the end of the season when you get deeper into August. But when I look at this team, I said losing ground, but is this ship sinking? And the reason why I asked the word, is the ship sinking? Because you've got so many guys coming back.
Yeah.
You've got Spencer Arrighetti. I've mentioned this before. He's a guy that I thought in the beginning of the year was going to be right up there with Fromber and Hunter. And I think had he stayed healthy, he very much could, to me, he's got that in him to be able to do that. So he should be coming back. He's going to make another rehab start. Javier is expected to make a return shortly after him. So you got those 2 pitchers. Luis Garcia, I'm sure, is kind of in the mix. I know Garcia.
They just moved him to Double-A, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Garcia, France, and Arrighetti all started this weekend in Corpus. They started back-to-back games. So Corpus got a treat getting to see 3 Astros pitchers 3 days in a row. But I don't think the ship is sinking per se because of those guys you're getting back. Jeremy Pena, they said will return by August 1st, but play a few rehab games.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about this one. And this is the one that I'm curious about. Yordan Alvarez, okay? Dana Brown said, right now they're working up they're ramping up his workload. Once he clears that hurdle, the plan is to get him some live ABs. The goal is short rehab stint. This is what Brown said. I'll take 75% Yordan over the guys we have, some of the guys we have now. So are they basically saying that we're going to roll Yordan out there even if he's not 100%? And as a baseball guy, how do you feel about that?
I don't think that is the case. You're not going to rush him back. They've already tried that. That didn't work. Really, if you try to read between the lines of what Dana just said right there, he didn't say a whole lot. He didn't give you a time frame.
True.
He didn't give you a date. He gave you a general schedule, but again, you don't know when that schedule starts.
Yeah.
Okay. He's ramping up his workload. Well, what does that mean? And so it's, it's kind of, it's kind of one of those things. It sounds good. Dana's trying to be positive, which obviously we like, and you want him to be positive about the situation. But I don't, I'm not really going to count on Yordan until Yordan at least gets in some rehab games, because that's when it's going to be imminent. It's going to be right around the corner. That we do know that Yordan, if he is completely healthy, he doesn't need much. He could probably just get 3 or 4 games, get 10 or 12 at bats, and he may be ready to go. But I'm not really going to count on Yordan until he gets further down the road. And until he, ramping up the workload. Okay, that's fine. You need to see him in between the white lines. You need to see him swinging the bat full speed and not having any more hand issues. As far as Jeremy Pena is concerned, I'm actually a little surprised it's taken him this much time to get back, just simply because he played with the broken rib. It wasn't like he came out of the game immediately. Now you want to make sure he's completely healthy. And the Astros, I've always felt that the Astros in situations like this in the past have always been pretty conservative about the time frame, that, as soon as, somebody says, okay, I'm ready to go, they give you a couple more days just to make sure. But I think, Jeremy is the next guy offensively that you're looking at. And hopefully it is by August 1st here in just a few days.
It would be nice to have Jeremy Pena back, because Mike, he was having a breakout season. Sure. I mean, he was doing everything. He was 200 points over on slugging, on all the important categories. OPS looks good. At shortstop, he looked good, but you've got some needs now. Isaac Paredes, they basically said it is more severe. Well, he said it's a little more severe than projected. I would have dropped a little out of there and just said, it's worse than we thought.
That and again, Dana tried to be positive about it, but you read between the lines. He's going for a second opinion.
Right.
Okay. We're not talking about a UCL or something like that. You're talking about a pulled hamstring. I don't know what the second opinion is going to do, because the second opinion isn't going to help him heal.
Right.
So not good news as far as Paredes is concerned, that it is, it's more severe than they thought. Again, it doesn't, what in the big picture, does it matter? No, it doesn't, because he can't get back on the field until the hamstring's healthy.
That's right. Miss Scott says, if the Astros say it's bad, it's catastrophic. You got to read the line.
Yes, because the Astros are usually generally optimistic. I don't think we're going to see Isaac in the next few weeks. I think that
what I picture. How in football, whenever there's a serious injury, they send them into the tent.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised the Astros haven't pulled a tent out of the dugouts.
Right.
Like someone gets a beat and they go to, but he's in the tent.
Right. I thought you were going to go to Joe Theismann.
Oh, man. No, like what
I know I'm showing my age, but they only showed that like a dozen times.
Oh no, I remember watching that game.
I was watching the game too.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible. But I'm just thinking, it's like, put the tent over.
Please stop showing, but I couldn't stop watching.
Well, but see, at least I would give Orbit some more stage time.
There you go.
Some Orbit shenanigans, but seriously, so as we get into this flow of seeing players come back, seeing players get healthy, you really enjoy seeing that.
And listen, I mean, you have, let's say, who's the first one's going to be? Probably Arrighetti.
Arrighetti probably the first.
And then I think who is second?
Javier, possibly.
Yeah. Christian. These guys coming back, does this mean that all of a sudden they're going to be in midseason form? No. But what this does do is it changes the dynamic in the clubhouse. It changes the dynamic on the bench, because it all of a sudden makes you feel more whole as a team. Hey, we're getting the guys back. Now you have a positive situation, especially when you haven't been playing well. Okay, everybody's always looking for an edge, and this could be that little happy moment that lets people relax and go ahead and go back out there and swing the bat and throw the ball like they've been doing earlier in the season.
Yeah, exactly. But, and that's why I said when I saw Spencer Arrighetti throwing the ball, and like he's got this certain kind of swagger when he's on the mound, and when he's really feeling it. And when he throws that pitch and he leads that leg just up there, you're sitting there going, okay,
yeah.
Like
then we've seen it a couple times when he had the high strikeout games, and he's got a little strut around the mound.
Yeah,
hey, you know what? You put up the numbers, you can strut like a peacock all you want.
Exactly. I love it, man. I think that's great. Now, we do have several needs. The Astros could certainly use a pitcher or three. The Astros could use a bat or two. They want a left-handed bat. They want an infielder. Now Chandler Rome wrote an article tonight after the sweep on The Athletic about the Astros have checked in on Eugenio Suarez. Now, checking in, basically, I think they let them know, hey, by the way, we're interested. So
right.
if you got any offers for us, let us know. Dana Brown did say that he's probably willing to trade from the big league club if that's what it takes to get a deal done. So you got other names out there like Willie Castro has been coming up quite a bit.
I don't like to toot my own horn, but what have I been saying the whole season when it comes to the trade deadline? That's the only place they're going to be able to go from. Because you tell me the prospects that are in AAA,
they're going to
be worthy enough to bring in a good left-handed bat or to bring in a starting pitcher or whatever. You're going to have to detract from the guys that are already in Houston. And unfortunately, that makes it very complicated.
Well, especially with all the injuries. I mean, not that you would trade someone like a Jake Myers because of the year he's having, but he's injured. So even if you wanted to offer him as a piece, you couldn't.
Jake, as great as good, I want to say great, as good as Jake has been, even if he were healthy, and he's the analytics say he is an outstanding center fielder, and he goes and gets it. That there's no doubt about that. I mean, what are the long-term prospects for Jake Myers? That Jake isn't going to be the type of play. It's going to be one of these young guys. Those are the guys that hold the highest value when you look at the trade deadline. They're the guy that they're bringing in. Jake has been on the Astros for a few years now. What they're looking for is controllability, and that's where the young guys come from. That again, we've talked about it before. Usually, a hitter for a pitcher and a pitcher for a hitter. So if you're going to bring in a pitcher, it's going to be one of the young guys. Out of the lineup. That would be the cost.
So the Astros, we know they're not going after frontline guys. I mean, Seth Lugo was a guy that everybody was wanting to go after, but the Royals just announced a contract extension with Seth Lugo. He's been very good for them, and
doesn't mean he can't be traded. It's just the extension would go.
Well,
but you're not usually extending. You're not
right.
usually extending people and then turn around and sign
Which
it.
I thought it was actually kind of smart to extend him before the trade deadline because all these clubs are checking on him, and you're like, hey, this is what we think you're worth and want you to stay, and he signed with them, so good for them. But I think the only way the Astros get something is if they go for. There are a lot of like smaller move options that they can make. I know Ari Alexander talked to me about Brett Beatty, who's a Texas kid, came out of the Austin Westlake area, was very highly touted as one of the top draft picks when he was drafted, has taken some time to get in there, but does a pretty good job, could be serviceable, probably second base or third base. But maybe the Suarez talk is more urgent because of the Paredes. And the reason
I think that's why they made the call. I mean, if Paredes was at third base, you wouldn't even keep the tire.
Well, plus Suarez is a rental. So if you get him and you don't have to sell the farm, then if he goes next year, you got Paredes sliding back in his spot when he comes
Which, just
back.
to let people know, since he's a rental, that actually reduces the price. When you start looking at multiple years, that's when the price really goes up. And so, but yeah, I think if Isak was at third base, you wouldn't be kicking the tires with Suarez. And so I don't see, I'm not making a prediction, so you can't hold me to this, but I don't see the Astros making a big move. I think there may be some smaller support moves. And I think really the best moves the Astros can make is get their dudes off the IL. That's really where their trade deadline moves are. The teams that are the guys that are already in the organization, getting some of these starting pitchers off the IL, and keep our fingers crossed, getting Pena back soon and getting Alvarez back into the middle of that lineup.
It's funny, whenever it was Saturday, the day after Nick Kurtz did what he did, I said, I went to Twitter and basically said, "Dear Dana, just make sure Nick changes locker rooms after the game Sunday. Give them whatever they want,
Right.
thing." But there possibly will be some new faces on this team. Yeah. But getting these guys back have been out will almost be like new faces because we haven't seen them.
Well, I mean, you should go through that list and you tell me, what are you going to get in return that would equate to any of those guys? And there's not. There's not anybody on the market. I mean, I think that the moves that they do make, because of the price that they're going to have to pay to bring another player in, I think they're going to be more, there may be a name, but it's going to be a name that's not playing very well, kind of lightning in a bottle type situation.
And, they're, excuse me, Lance is out with a blister.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you all choked up.
It's okay. Yeah, I know. I get emotional when we talk. But when so Lance goes down 15-day IL. You and I had talked about, how much more does he have left? And
let's talk about the blister for a quick second.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with the blister. And I haven't seen, physically seen the finger. But the issue is, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can't pitch until the skin heals. And then you also have to get the callus back going. You can't it's not just about healing. It's about getting the finger conditioned to throw the breaking ball. And as many breaking balls as he throws, there's a lot of torque. There's a lot of friction on those fingers. And that's where the blister comes from. I mean, we've seen guys in the past. Rich Hill was a guy that, it seemed like he struggled with blisters year in and year out, just simply because you try and hurry back and it causes more problems.
Yeah. Well, shoot, he's still pitching.
He's 44 years old.
He's still out there.
Is that old enough that you actually go years young? 44 years young?
Yes.
Hey, he pitched pretty well too. I think gave up 1 run in 5 innings.
He's at the age, sports wise, where you always tell him, "Oh, here comes a 21-year-old."
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, the guy comes up to the plate. He's half his age.
Right. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh, so speaking of old timers, can I say that?
I think I know where you're going. Yes,
yeah, the weekend the Astros are in the Bronx.
Right.
I believe you're going to be in the Bronx.
I will be.
And you're participating in a time-old tradition, a tradition as old as time, as they say in the Masters. I'm joking. I'm hitting the old here. So tell us, Mike, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah, it is Old Timers Day, and the Yankees I think they're the team that actually started doing this,
right?
Decades ago. But there is a celebration of the 2000 World Series team. That's going to be the 3rd year of the last dynasty. But yeah, we're celebrating. That was a Subway Series that we beat the Mets in 5 games. And it was like I said, the last of the 3 World Series run. So
right.
Went to the World Series in 2001 and lost in Game 7 to the Diamondbacks. But yeah, that's going to be it's the weekend of the 9th. It's weekend after next. But yeah, we're going to be there celebrating.
Is there also an old timers game you're going to be playing in?
Yes, but I think I heard an ugly rumor that I think it's supposed to be a softball game. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if we're actually going to partake in any baseball.
Okay, so they've changed it from baseball to softball?
Well, last time we did it, I went 2 years ago for the 98 team. That would be the first year of the three in a row. We didn't do it last year because they also won the World Series. The last time they won the World Series was 2009, so they celebrated that team. And we didn't play. We had an on-field ceremony, question and answer type situation. And the rumor was because Derek didn't want to play. And that was also the first year. It wasn't just the first year that I was back. It was also a little bit more important. The captain, that was the first time he had been back in celebration of old time.
Okay. Makes sense. No, that sounds like fun.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to be great to see the guys again. It took me 25 years to get back the first time. And, I was actually one of the first guys that they called up to talk on the mic to the stands. And I actually told them, I said, I can't believe it's taken me 25 years to come back, but it won't be 25 years for me to get back again. It's only been 2.
There you go. No, well, hey, if you would, you'll have to take some pictures with your phone. And seriously, share some pictures with you. I would love to see you with some of the Yankee greats. That'd be a cool thing for, I think, our viewers to check out.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's going to be fun. It'll be whirlwind, always is. But yeah, that was the Subway Series.
Wow.
I remember
that. Yep, y'all will always have that on the Mets, and the Mets, I mean, the Mets.
I pitched pretty well that series also.
So there you go. And hey, also August 9th is someone's birthday too. So maybe you bring back your co-host a present from the Bronx or something, or slice of pizza.
It's your birthday?
It's my birthday on the 9th of August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I turned 50.
So you didn't have to say that. I was going to say 29.
I know I don't look a day over 49, right?
You don't look a day over 60.
Thanks.
Well, you have the beard. That's why I don't grow the beard. My son has been on me about, let it grow. No, man, I'm gonna look like freaking Santa Claus.
Well, it comes with, I accept the age. I think I've really, this is the first year of my life that I've really battled with this, right? But my grandson just absolutely loves spending time with him. Took him to go see Superman. Have you seen Superman?
I have not.
It's actually a really good movie.
Okay.
And my grandson, 3 years old, was captivated. And my favorite part of the movie wasn't just Superman, it was Super Dog. Super Dog was so cool. And so,
my 4.5-year-old grandson, he would last about 20 minutes.
See, my grandson just sat there and he had the popcorn and he just ate the whole time. Pop, look at the dog. And we're just eating. I love Crypto, man. He was awesome. So, yeah. Well,
very cool. Maybe I will keep that on the list.
Yeah, man. Look at that. Chris says, yeah, thank you, Rob. Rob says 50 is the new 45. And Chris's birthday is on the 8th. Well, hey, listen, I know you're going to be
birthday.
Yeah, for real. I know you're going to be out of town for it. But we are going to have a live event for Wheelhouse Media Company. We got a couple things I got to tell people before we wrap it up here. Thursday, 10 a.m. this week in front of our studios. It's 11710 Broadway Street in Pearland, Texas. We're doing a ribbon cutting for Wheelhouse Media Company. That will be there. The Pearland Chamber of Commerce. We're doing our official grand opening. And then on August 9th, we're going to be at Tom's Watch Bar. We've partnered with them, and we're going to do an official Astros watch party at Tom's Watch Bar to watch the Astros versus the Yankees. We'll do a 30-minute pregame and a 30-minute.
Hey, they may have a clip or two in that game from Old Timers Day.
Yeah, there you go. And hey, I'm gonna film it and we're gonna show it. But seriously, I was, and whenever you told me, I was like, oh man, I really wanted Mike there. But you know what? This will be the first of many live events. And whenever we do have our next one, we'll make sure Mike comes out and you guys can definitely meet him. I know he would do that. And my mom told me to tell you that she really wants to meet you. She wants to tell you hello.
On the wheelhouse?
Yes. So she said, tell Mike that I want to meet him and that I think I just love when
it will happen.
So
it will happen.
We'll make it happen. Definitely. Well, on to the National Series. The Astros have 3 and then they have a day break, a day off, which they haven't had in a while. So, you got any parting thoughts?
Yeah, let's end that 18 consecutive games. Well, what is it? 18 consecutive games
of
scoring the opponent scoring first. Let's end that.
Yeah.
And start winning a couple baseball games. Listen, baseball players are always looking for something to hang their hat on. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there's not really something there, but you can make anything up, and changing the opponent, it can be considered like a new start. So put all the rest of it behind you. Can't do anything about yesterday. All you can do is move forward and win today's game.
Definitely. Well, Mike, thanks for everything. We appreciate right here. John says Mike is an awesome guy. Super nice. Signed a hat for me a few years ago at the ballpark and talked some ball. Thanks, Mike. So there you go, Mr. John Beeman, remembering a great memory. And what's funny is the way we met, and I'll leave with this. I just walked up to you one day when you were doing something for, I think it was Root Sports at the time. And I said, hey, would you like to be a guest on Locked on Astros? And then I randomly said, hey, I've got another idea. Why don't we do a show together? And you're like, let's do it. And so the rest is history, man.
And here we are.
That's right. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. For myself, for Mike, for everybody at Wheelhouse Media Company, we appreciate you stopping by. And you know what? I'm always positive, always Stros. Y'all have a good one.
I don't know if you're always positive, but you all are always Stros. Adios.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, and I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking